Shall we continue like watching some Instagram shorts? Or actually no, let me watch this one. Uh the Logan Paul and the Lunchy.
KSI.
All right, it's only like 10 minutes, so let's watch this and then we'll call it a day, yeah? Let's watch this. Let's watch this. Apparently this is some spicy stuff, you know what I'm saying? Apparently this is some spicy stuff. All right, it's called Doctor Reacts to Lunchly Controversial. I'm not quite sure if this, like, you're quite familiar with this, but this is what happened in America. Right, meow. Let's see. Watch this.
Mr. Beast and Logan Paul have announced they were teaming up and launching a new food product called Lunchly to compete with the uber popular kids brand Lunchables. And the reception has been less than stellar. Many creators took to social media to criticize the product and the creators themselves. Logan and Jimmy were quick to push back on the critics with their own posts, and in the process created newsworthy headlines like,
YouTube stars are coming for your kid's lunch. It's a move that has Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, and
Yeah, that sounds gross. Yeah, it does. I mean, like, to be fair, I didn't really grew up with Lunchables, so I don't really fucking care about that shit. But if you're gonna market a food to kids and call it healthy, it's a bit misleading. I guess they call it healthier, but still. Honestly.
KSI teaming up to take on Lunchables.
and I usually don't make videos discussing creators' products, but when terms like healthier or better for you get tossed around, I feel it's important to set the record straight. So, in the spirit of avoiding personal attacks, let's take a look at the science of Lunchly, including a true issue with their kits I don't think anyone has correctly pointed out yet. For those who may not know, Lunchables are basically these pre-packaged do-it-yourself meal kits.
This is only in America, and it's actually kind of sad because like this is supposed to be okay. If you give this one to your kids as kind of like let's just say like 2 or 3 times a week, or even 1 time in a whole week, I think it's fine as a snack. But it shouldn't be a substitute for like a proper lunch. Naming it a Lunchable, obviously it's almost like a substitute for like an actual like meal. It's not. Come on now. It's fucking processed turkey, cheese, Ritz cracker, fucking juice, and sometimes this comes with a chocolate. Like, dude, that's not even a balanced meal. Like, that's not even balanced at all. That's actually kind of fucking trash. But I know a lot of people really are into Lunchables for nostalgia. I think that's what it is. It's all like, especially like adults, like, you know, they give it to their kids because when they were kids, they had this one, and as a kid, it's a good meal. I mean, it's a good snack, right? But it's not like a substitute for a proper meal. Like, you don't, like, dude, it's not healthy.
They've usually got things like crackers, deli meats, cheeses, treats, and come with a little drink. And since their inception, they've been super popular with kids. However, it's been known, especially by experts, that while these kits are fun and tasty, their nutritional value is just not good. They're often too high in sodium, saturated fat, and added sugars, and don't use healthy whole food ingredients. And because they fall into the category of ultra-processed foods, they aren't healthy to consume often, period. Studies actually show that those consuming high amounts of UPFs can have up to 50% higher risk of developing obesity, and some specific UPFs are linked to increases in cancer. I see it even in my clinic. So many of my pediatric patients are over-consuming UPFs, and it's becoming a growing problem across the country. Consumer Reports even dedicated a special feature highlighting the problems with Lunchables and why they shouldn't be consumed regularly due to health risks. My own don't take on Lunchables, I don't recommend parents pack them for their kids on a daily basis. A low quality food with poor
I would not recommend it also. But it's like, it's so common. I've seen it in my, like, in our household when my brother was like still going to like grade school, elementary and stuff. But there are just some days that I guess my mom couldn't make food and Lunchables are there. But that's the thing, it's not like an everyday occurrence. It's only when like everyone's busy and can't make food, then Lunchable is the saving grace. But giving it to your kid daily, oof, that is so bad, bro. That is so bad.
poor nutritional value. But now what about Lunchly? Starting with the first claim, in the press release announcing the product, Logan Paul was quoted as saying Lunchly is a healthier alternative and that it's a better for you lunch option compared to Lunchables.
It's not.
In fact, throughout the Lunchly website and the social media promo posts, you'll see countless comparisons being made to Lunchables.
So this is what they are trying to market to everyone. Like at this point, their audience, which are kids, or there's no fucking way they're marketing this one to adults. They're aware of who their target audience is, especially Mr. Beast, probably. I don't know about Logan Paul and KSI. They're more like an old school YouTuber at this point. So the people that know them are like fucking adults at this point, probably 25 plus or something. But Mr. Beast, on the other hand, like he's kind of like famous. So every kid knows him, right? This is obviously marketed towards the audience of fucking Mr. Beast, right? So in this fucking thing right now, this is what they're claiming as a healthy snack. 11 grams of protein, 230 calories, okay? Lunchly 230, Lunchables 310. Electrolytes, 400 milligrams of electrolytes. That is mainly because of Prime. That's the only reason why that this one has like more electrolytes, and this one is a Capri Sun. It's a fucking juice. And besides, electrolytes doesn't, like, I think that's anyway. Sugar, 21 per package. Again, this is directly from Capri Sun. The only redeeming part on this one is probably the sugar.
To be honest, some of the comparisons are kind of cringe and don't make much sense to me, but maybe that's because I'm not the target demo. Flavorful combos versus standard picks. The meal kit combos are nearly identical to Lunchables.
Exactly. Big
gestures versus mid moments.
Dude, this is, oh my god. Like, what the fuck are they like? Like, it's so obvious that, like, I don't know, dude. I mean, like, come on. What is this, like, what is the Zoomer fucking lingo that they're using?
I certainly don't remember that lesson in my nutrition classes. I was more concerned with the nutritional comparisons being made anyway. So if someone was to make a healthy meal kit for kids, I would find that incredibly valuable. And in looking in the comparison, I'd be most interested in calories, which they have, protein, which they have, sugar, which they have, saturated fat, which is missing, and sodium, which is not only missing, but replaced by electrolytes. And unlike all the other macros, is only labeled potassium and only in the Prime bottle in the kit, comparing it to the Capri.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's only, and it's not even like, electrolytes, potassium. I'm pretty sure potassium is not a good source of electrolytes. It's sodium, right? It's fucking salt.
Pre-Sun in the Lunchables. This is a pretty weird marketing choice to label electrolytes in food products. It's such a strange choice that it even stunned fellow Dr. Brian Suterer, who tweeted,
"Sodium getting rebranded as electrolytes will be taught in marketing textbooks one day."
And then sadly was ashamed to see Logan attack instead of starting a meaningful dialogue with the doctor, given that 400 milligrams is not the amount of electrolytes in Prime, at least in the image that Logan shared. 400 milligrams of potassium plus 5 milligrams of sodium equals 405 milligrams of electrolytes. It's not about nitpicking, it's just about being reasonable and honest to help further the conversation. Look, if I want to decide if a food is right for me, I like to be able to compare the entire electrolyte profile, which would have to include sodium. It's like having a PB&J sandwich label that says what's in the sandwich, protein, fats, calories, but then the sugar line only tells you what's in the peanut butter as opposed to the jelly in the entire sandwich. I wanted to go further and do the comparisons myself using the nutrition facts from the Lunchables and Lunchly websites, and it's honestly really hard to draw perfectly clear conclusions for several reasons. One, I don't have nutrition facts for each part of the kits. For example, how many calories come from Feastables versus the food component? Second,
Exactly. It's a meal kit. So if you're only trying to put nutrition facts on, let's just say, fucking the pizza, the Ritz crackers, the cheese, and the ham or whatever, the turkey, what about the things included in there?
The portion size,
the chocolate
aren't the same. The turkey cracker kit from Lunchables is 82 grams, while Lunchly's is 72 grams. 3, there are so many varieties of Lunchables that just swapping out the flavor of Capri Sun caused significant differences in sugar and calorie content. What I was able to conclude is that Lunchly has less sugar and therefore less calories than Lunchables in comparable kits. That's probably due to the drink component of the kit, as Capri Sun uses sugar and Prime is artificially sweetened. Lunchly has significantly more potassium than Lunchables because of the Prime drink, which I guess is good, but not something I'd regularly use in deciding if a food is an ideal lunch for a kid. Lunchly has slightly less sodium and saturated fat than comparable Lunchables. That's definitely moving in the right direction, however, both differences were fairly small. Lunchly does use real cheese as opposed to cheese product, signaling that at least one ingredient is less processed than in Lunchables, but the entirety of the kit is still considered an ultra-processed meal. Lunchly has higher amounts of A and B vitamins, which can be good, but also can be problematic as vitamin A is a fat-soluble vitamin, and kids can easily overconsume it, leading to toxicity. Being that it's fat-soluble means that you can't just urinate excess out. This has actually been raised as an issue by experts with Prime in general. Despite these legitimate upgrades, social media posts are slamming Lunchly for not being perfect. But Lunchly does not need to be perfect to be valuable for kids. It just needs to be significantly healthier in order to reduce risk. As a doctor, I use risk reduction all the time, essentially taking something harmful and replacing it with something less harmful, but still imperfect. As an example, I would never recommend starting vaping, but getting someone to replace smoking cigarettes with vaping is generally a good step down in terms of health risk. Knowing all that, is it fair to say that Lunchly is healthier? I guess one can say yes, but honestly, probably more so as a marketing tactic.
It's like, here's the thing about Lunchly though. When these 3 guys came out, like, released the video, like exactly this video that's showing on the video right now, they're like slamming Lunchables for being the worst. But at the same time, it's not like you're selling a better product than Lunchables. If anything, you're only like the only redeeming part about Lunchly is just the less sugar, and that's it. And then you're talking crap about one thing that is you're calling not healthy when your product is similar. Dude, I just don't get it.
The reason why? Well, let's look at the recently passed nutrition standards set forth by the USDA for school lunches and see how Lunchly compares. Going line by line here. Less than 10% of calories should come from saturated fat. Lunchly turkey, 23% of calories come from saturated fat. Less than 10% of calories should come from added sugars. Lunchly turkey, 10.4 comes from added sugars. But this is where things get really interesting, and for some reason no one has pointed this out. You see, USDA caloric guidelines say that a lunch meal for kids K through 8 should contain around 625 calories. Kids need energy to function, and calories give them that energy. Lunchly turkey contains only 230 calories, which would mean a kid would need to eat about 2.7 portions to consume enough calories. And if they did that, they'd get nearly 1,300 milligrams of sodium, which is also significantly over the USDA standards. So they'd be either under eating calories or overeating sodium. Finally, the grain guidelines state that 80% of lunch meals must be whole grain, and Lunchly Turkey does not list any whole grain ingredients. It's clear Lunchly, just like Lunchables, misses the mark too many times to be considered meaningfully healthier, at least in my opinion. That being said, I do think many criticisms pointed at Logan, KSI, and Jimmy are unfair. Attacking them for trying to create a successful influencer product isn't inherently problematic. I just think if a company was truly interested in creating a healthier lunch kit for kids, the USDA standards should be the minimum starting requirements. Otherwise, we're simply propagating the problem even further. One of my hopes is that in navigating the future feedback on this company, the guys hire a health professional to guide them in making messaging more accurate. I just saw someone ask about heavy metal contamination, and Logan responded with a video of an X-ray machine checking for foreign materials. That checks for stray objects accidentally getting into the meals, not heavy metal contaminations like we discussed earlier with Lunchables and lead. And saying a food has more electrolytes, therefore it must be better or healthier, is just not true. Foods with an incredibly high sodium content and electrolyte are not considered particularly healthy. In fact, many are considered unhealthy for that reason. I can't expect non-medical people to get this perfect, but if you're gonna stand by a children's food product being healthy, you need to hold your messaging to a higher standard.
Exactly.
Eating a diet full of
Dude, he fucking nailed that shit, man. If you're gonna fucking talk shit to a product and calling them bad for children, and your product is healthier, when in reality it's not really healthier, it's just as worse as the product that you're fucking talking shit, then what the fuck are you even doing? You know, like, dude, like, wake up, man. Wake the fuck up.